Hello and welcome back to another video on the rest of my and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And yeah, big show today. We're not far away from Night of Champions, and we've got a big name kicking off the show, Roman Reigns. So yeah, you can tell it's going to be a big episode of Smackdown with a lot going on, and let's get straight into it with Roman, Zina and Paul kicking off the show. The crowd acknowledged Roman before KO and Sami interrupted them and the tag champs got to the ring. Roman told Zayn that inviting him to the bloodline was the biggest mistake in his career. Zayn fired back, saying that Reigns may not want the titles at Night of Champions, but he wasn't going to win them since he wasn't as good as them or the Usos. The Usos came in and attacked Sami and KO out of nowhere and took them out. Roman was furious and stormed out of the ring, bumping Solo on his way out. Backstage after the break, Roman yelled at the Usos for not following his orders. And yeah, you can all tell this is leading to a tipping point. Roman budging Solo as well, with Zayn as well. Yeah, it's all working so nicely, and I really can't wait to see how it goes. This was an absolutely brilliant start to Smackdown with it all going on. The Brawling Boots then took on Pretty Deadly. Ridge was in control early on against Elton Prince, but the latter managed to make a tag to Kit, who came with a big DDT. Back after a break, Pretty Deadly got some double team moves before Butcher was tagged in. Butcher then hit big suplexes and stops before getting near full. Ridge came back and lifted both opponents and hit a big slam as he and Butch hit 10 beats of battering. The referee is then distracted and went down near the ropes. The former tag champs of NXT then hit the double team finisher, spilt milk on Ridge before picking up the win. And Jack gets 6 out of 10 for me. Really good win for them. Against an established SmackDown team now, you'd have to say. And yeah, that could do a lot of good things for them. So yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I'm very pleased for Pretty Deadly, and hopefully that momentum continues. Zina Vega then took on Asuka. Zelina got an early roll up and some kicks before Asuka took the fight outside before Vega was dropped on the outsider's desk. Back in the ring, Vega got the Meteor before the Empress went for the Asuka lock. Zelina reversed in hold, but Asuka countered it into a modified armbar before picking up the win via submission. Asuka attacked Vega after the match, and Bianca came out to make the save. Asuka retreated, but Bianca caught her by the hair from the apron. Asuka then hit the miss, but barely missed the champ before retreating. And yeah, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. On the whole, very solid match. Asuka really healed Persona. I think she has to beat Bianca Belair now. We'll have to see. But yeah, 6 out of 10. Grayson Waller was then out with his talk show, and AJ was the guest for tonight. AJ was talking about having the longest break due to injury recently and said he was ready to win the heavyweight championship at Night of Champions. Waller told him that Seth Rollins would win instead, and the two had a stare down and SmackDown continued. Obviously, they've had history, and yeah, I'd like to see them have another match again because that'd be really great. So yeah, solid stuff here. Definitely leading up for sweet stuff. LA Knight and Rick Boots then took on the Street Profits. Boots was in control early on and lifted forward over his head and bench pressed him before tossing him away. Dawkins was then tagged in and Boogs lifted him too and did curls before hitting a hip toss. Boogs then made a tag tonight, and Ford came in before he tossed Boogs and Knight outside and hit a big dive. Back in the ring, the Profits took Boogs down for Ford hit the frog splash for the win. Knight then picked Boogs off the mat after the match and hit a stunner, blaming him for the loss. And yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10, let's say. In fact, no, it gets 7 out of 10. Just because I like LA Knight. Hopefully that's kind of like a breakout moment for him where he does more and more him attacking Boogs. And yeah, the match wasn't bad either. Of course, it wasn't looking at the names involved. And so yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 for me. Good stuff. Alba, Fire and Isla Dawn then took on Valentina, Fedos and Yulisa Leon. Good to see them back, by the way. I don't know if they're on SmackDown permanently or just one-off, but I have to say. The champs were in control early on. Dawn locked in a hole before Fire came in with a super kick. Dawn sent one of her opponents out of the ring as the match continued. The women's tag champs then hit the Russian leg sweep and the Gory Bomb combo, picking up the quick win. And Jack gets 6 out of 10 for me. I don't know, it was just kind of there, to be honest. I don't know what's happening with the NXT women's tag titles. We'll have to see where that all goes. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry enough, just introducing some main roster crowd, 6 out of 10. We then learned that Liv Morgan was injured and they will have to relinquish the Women's Tag Team Championships, which really is a shame. Hopefully it's not too bad and she's back soon, but there'll be a face-to-4 ways to determine the winner on the May 29th episode of Raw, and a winning team will be crowned as the new Women's Tag Champs before we got a short piece from Karrion Kross where he declared he'll be going after AJ Styles next week. I don't know why we couldn't just do that match on Night of Champions though, by the way, but there we go. Austin Theory was out next and talks about losing in the heavyweight title tournament and taunted Sheamus for not helping him against Lashley before the Celtic Warrior came out and hit a pro kick on him, dropped his mic and left. Setting up a feud down. I don't know, I'd rather Sheamus go after the IC title, but you know, this sets up a really decent match as well. So yeah, not bad stuff. It was then time for LWI versus the Usos. Ray and Jimmy kicked off the match and tags were made early on before Escobar was isolated in the ring. Ray came back off the tag and got a senton and a springboard crossbody for a near fall. Escobar came in and hit a big knee strike after a Hurricane Rana on Jimmy for a near fall. The Usos countered the 6-1 619 with a super kick before Jay got on near fall off a splash. Kato then showed up at ringside and a distraction before Zayn came in with an assist and helped Ray hit the 619. Escobar came in with a top rate finisher and pick up the win. And yeah, in the locker room, Roman was furious about the loss and Zola was about to get up, but Reigns motioned for him to sit back down, which he did, still following instructions. But yeah, the Usos stuff is really boiling up now, and yeah, it's all going to come crashing down very soon, and I can feel it coming. And yeah, it just all tying in very, very nicely. So it gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Great stuff. Overall, SmackDown this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I don't know. I don't know. I thought all the Roman stuff on the show was really great. The rest of the stuff, for a show that's not far away, didn't have a whole lot on it, I can't lie. So yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10 from me. It was a solid show without being absolutely spectacular. But anyway, guys, that's it really. Thanks so much for watching. And to like, share, over daily wrestling news and sponsor channels, going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.